Hey, welcome to another dojo topic. We put a new one here every Tuesday, so be sure to subscribe and catch these. Today, we're going to be talking about prioritizing self-respect over the pursuit of monetization. What does all of that mean? Well, I can tell you that based on the conversation we had live today in the dojo, the consensus was, whoa, wait a minute. When we stop efforting, and I don't think that's a word because every time I put it in spell check, it turns red, meaning you spelled this word wrong. But efforting, meaning trying harder, hustling. I've got to do this. I've got to make goals. I've got to meet my goals. Whenever we're prioritizing effort instead of effortless, we're making things so much more difficult for us. So if this is resonating with you, I think today's topic might be just what you are looking for. Because remember, you attracted this for a reason. So I'm going to share my screen with you and invite you in, because if you are unable to join us live every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, then feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel and be with us in spirit. Listen to, watch the conversations that we had, the topic, see how it lands on you, see what you think. Feel free to join us. We'd love to have you. If not, again, right here every Tuesday, there's a new video. Today's topic, as I mentioned, is prioritizing self-respect over the pursuit of materialization. But first, I want to remind you that last week's topic was dropping the dualistic realm, impersonal versus personal being. And when we're talking about that being, what is being? Your state of being. That's how you're feeling in any given moment. So, how you're feeling in any given moment, your state of being, is the energy that you manifest from. And it's not about trying to purposely feel a certain way in order to manifest something. It's about allowing yourself to feel effortless, to feel happy, joyful, loving, exuberant. And that's what we talked about last week. Because if you're not feeling all of those, you're really moving into the dualistic realm, which is getting more into your head, more into the mindset, more into the emotions. And that's what can tend to pull us in a direction we probably don't want to go. So if you were not able to join us live or you missed that, I will put a link at the end of this video so that you can easily check it out and see if that's what's calling to you as well. I will say that about 10 minutes after last week's live conversation, one of the members sent me a text message and she said, "Oh my gosh, I had such a miracle happen just since we were talking." And it was so amazing to see how when we are having these conversations and we're coming together collectively, how we really support each other. And it's really fun to watch how we uh, be there for each other. That's a good way to say it. That's a great way to say it. So welcome, welcome. Now, today, let's talk about prioritizing self-respect. When a woman chooses radical honesty and self-respect, she doesn't just rise. She becomes a safe space for other women to rise too. Real support starts with the truth, with boundaries, with being the kind of woman who shows up authentically. No masks, no people pleasing, no pretending. And I shared an example of a woman that I was speaking with a few days ago. Yeah, this was a few days ago. And she was telling me that there is a woman that she used to be friends with. And over the years, she decided that that person was toxic in her life. She didn't really want to be friends with that person anymore. So she just decided that she was going to stop responding to any texts, voicemails, calls, just, nothing to do with this person. Now that's really stepping in and doing the inner work, right? You're deciding what's best for you. This is how I feel that I am the most whole the way I am. I have decided that I no longer want this person in my life. But then she learned that because this ex-friend, I'll just say, really wasn't getting the message, and it had been several years that she had not been in contact with her, she was going to her daughter and saying, I don't understand. I haven't heard from this person. And, what do you think is the problem? And then the daughter felt in the middle. So this woman that I was speaking to said, maybe I should call her and lay it out for her. And I said, it's not up to you to take on whatever the daughter is dealing with. It's up to you to be your own sovereignty, your own being. What makes you feel the best? What makes you feel the most in power, in a powerful state of being? You cannot possibly do enough for somebody else to take them out of their primal state of being. It's all about what you're choosing for you. So this is a really good example of this particular slide. When we're showing up authentically, we know, like, okay, these are the people I want in my life. These are the people I don't want in my life. And sometimes we feel like we have to justify why we don't want people in our life. And, there might be inner work to do about that. Yes, that's all part of this. But remember, it's about just feeling good in the moment. How do you feel in any given moment? Because in any given moment, we are feeling in a very powerful state of being or a very primal state of being. And that primal state of being is that fight, flight, or freeze. So when you're telling yourself, okay, maybe I should just give up this powerful state of being I feel that I'm in right now in order to support someone I care about, what are you actually doing? That is not self-respect. You're actually giving away your self-respect. You're being disrespectful. And you know what else? You're not being respectful to the person you say you're trying to help. And I'm putting that in air quotes because that person's journey is that person's journey. We're all here to support each other. We're all here to rise collectively, but no one is here to do someone else's work. So it's really, really respectful to oneself to prioritize your authenticity, prioritize the self-respect for yourself, and knowing, yeah, this is where I feel the most loved, the most enjoyment, the most happy. And that's the state of being that you deserve to be in. And when we choose that radical honesty, we are very, very powerful. Real manifestation isn't about chasing outcomes. It's about holding energetic authority. And nothing creates deeper roots of authority than self-respect. There's a tree, this tree is right down the street for me. And every time I walk past it, I look at these roots and I walk over them and I think, well, I don't walk over them. I do not walk on them. I walk past them. But when I do, I always feel like this majestic feeling like, wow, I am part of this tree. Look at these roots. This has been here for so long. These roots go so deep. And somehow I feel this power emanating from the tree. And I thought about this picture for this slide because when we think about, we really are this strong. But on the same hand, think about, gosh, I have to be stronger. I have to be able to do this. I have to. And anytime we say that, I have to, I should, that's efforting. When actually, just be. Self-respect is about being. Oh, yeah. I know that I have deep roots. I know that my roots are strong. I know that I am part of the one. I know that I am part of the all. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to remember and be from that thought process. When self-respect leads you to stop outsourcing your value to see what shows up or doesn't show up in the physical world, you return to wholeness. You stop griping and start trusting. You stop begging and start being. Like, when was the last time you said, "Oh, please, do you think I'm pretty? Please, do you think I'm doing a good job? Please, do you think I'm," like, we beg so much instead of standing in our sovereignty and knowing that we are the infinite being. It's wonderful to reach out and put your arms around someone and feel that love or give that love. But there's never a time when we need to beg. And when we are begging for um, our own respect, when we are begging for to be noticed, when we are begging for our own worthiness, we are putting ourselves in a primal state of being instead of remaining in a powerful state of being. When self-respect leads you to stop outsourcing your value to see what shows up or doesn't show up. It's just like this slide. I picked this because when you realize the spiritual trap of chasing external validation, your self-respect instantly upgrades your energetic field. So when you're outsourcing your value and you're like, "Oh, I've got to give this to someone in order to get something back. I've got to ask people. I've got to beg, please, I want this. Please, I need this. Please help me." And sometimes that's what our spiritual journey will take us to. Like, we have learned so many things. It's about letting go. It's about being. It's about manifestation. And it's never about something outside of us. Never. And that's the spiritual trap that so many of us chase. We chase this external validation. But when you choose self-respect, your entire energetic frequency shifts. It shifts instantly because self-respect is a declaration to the universe that you know your worth. You're no longer leaking energy, trying to be accepted, validated, or understood. You're standing in your own sacred center, aligned with truth and vibrating in your own sovereignty. Here's what happens energetically when you prioritize self-respect. Your boundaries become clear, which strengthens your aura and stops energy drains. Your confidence rises, so you emit a frequency of self-trust that can be felt by others. Your manifestations speed up because the universe mirrors your belief that you're worthy of receiving. You become magnetic. People, opportunities, and aligned connections are drawn to your empowered presence. Your nervous system relaxes because you're no longer betraying yourself to keep the peace. You're no longer giving something of yourself because you think this is what's going to make others happy and bring peace to others when you're denying it for yourself. Respecting yourself isn't just a mindset, it's a frequency upgrade, a vibrational yes to the life you're really here to live. So if you've been wondering why things feel off or blocked, ask yourself, am I honoring myself in this moment? That's the energetic pivot that changes everything. Just that one question can change everything for you. Choosing yourself is the ultimate act of creation. We've all been given the invitation to come home, not to hustle harder, but to honor deeper. The material world is magnetic, but self-respect is divine. Have you ever just had that time when you are maybe in meditation or prioritizing awareness in your beingness, and you have this feeling washes over you, and you feel like everything is just perfect, right? Like everything just feels so in alignment. That's where we have the opportunity to live. That's the invitation for us to live in that realization at any given moment. But sometimes we stray, we get into some challenges, we stray into that primal state of being. But every single time we stray into that primal state of being, there's always an invitation to come home. Come home. Step back into that powerful state of being that you are. You deserve to be there. You deserve to feel that. You weren't born with anger, frustration, guilt, shame, doubt, or fear. These are things you've added. You cannot add to something that's already perfect. So anything you've added, such as any negative thoughts, feelings, emotions, and experiences, anything you've added can be dropped at any time because they don't even really exist. Why not prioritize self-respect and use your mind for the magnificent tool it was created to be? Allow your mind to give you great happiness and joy by thinking of what you want and what it feels like to be happy. Awareness is the ultimate self-respect, and it can set you free. It's not about waking up every day and looking for something to be different. That's what we've always been doing. That's what most of us have been taught to do, right? They're like, well, I did this work yesterday. I've done the inner work. Nothing seems to have changed. And because we don't see any change externally, we think it's not working. We think that our thoughts, prayers, actions, the begging, pleading has not been answered, has not been given to us. When really it's just about believing, like, I know everything is happening in the most divine way. So when you wake up every morning, what are your first thoughts? Do you say, oh, I've got to do X, Y, and Z? Do you immediately reach for your phone and start checking everything before you even check in with yourself and set some intentions for the day? Do you precede your day? SEED, like plant seeds of happiness and joy. And like, yes, today is amazing. Today is already joyful. I can feel it in everything inside of me. Or do you wake up in hurry and rushing and thinking about the things you didn't get done yesterday? Like, how do you wake up every morning? And I know if you're watching this and you have a family that you're taking care of, there are others in the house, you might be saying, yeah, well, when there are other people in the house, the thing is, everything is perfect. So even if you're telling yourself, well, it's because these other people in my house don't let me wake up and feel my best, that's a story that you're telling yourself. And instead of judging yourself or doubting yourself or feeling guilty or trying to figure out, like, how can I make this change? How can I make this change? Get up in the morning and close your eyes and practice awareness. Be aware. We talked about this last week. Really pay attention to opportunities to let go of or eliminate the words I, me, and mine, because those always put you into the dualistic mindset. And that's not where awareness is. Remember, when you wake up every day and you're looking for those changes, that's what you've been doing. So if you've been doing what you've always been doing and it's not working, that's the opportunity, right? That's the invitation to say, okay, well, that's not been getting you what you want. What would get you what you want? Do you want to keep doing what you've been doing, or would you like to relax and allow something effortlessly to flow into your life? It's about waking up every day and choosing thoughts of happiness in every moment. That's the realization of who you are. Do what makes you happy, because happiness is who you are. This is true self-realization and self-respect. It's choosing happiness at every moment. This is your true nature before you accepted the invitation to bury it. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd love for you to leave me some comments. Maybe watch this a couple times and really let it wash over you and ask yourself, like, oh, what am I taking in from this? But don't effort it. Yeah, stay away from the efforting. Like, oh, I've got to figure this out. Oh, when you're doing that, when you're telling yourself, I just don't get this, I just don't get this, that is not prioritizing self-respect. Just think of that. Self-respect. Self-respect. What does that even mean? Say the word self-respect and then feel in your body. Where do you feel it? Do you feel happy and joyful? Do you feel contrast? What do you feel? We always know what is going to keep us in the most powerful state of being if we allow ourselves to be guided by the awareness, the infinite being that we are. You're meant to shine. You really are. You're meant to be living a happy, joyful, wonderful life. You really are. Leave some comments. Let me know how I or the group who's watching this can support you. In the meantime, this is Nancy Muller, the one and only Life Sensei. And if you have any desires to get support for this kind of work, visit me at masteringyourbeliefs.com. In the meantime, ciao for now.